வாழா உங்கள் வாழ்வை வாழ. Cheers. Senior Living by Casa Grande. Life begins at 50.
ड्रोन थे जो कि ये ऊपर आके देखना चाहते कि हमारे अगेंस्ट कोई कार्रवाई तो नहीं हो रही। मैं ये मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, हो सकता है कि वो ये भी देखना चाहें कि कोई कहीं गैप तो नहीं है, इंडियन आर्मी में कोई ढिलाई तो नहीं है, कोई गैप हो जहाँ से वो टेररिस्ट वहाँ से भेज सके। तो मेरे ख्याल से उनको उसका नेगेटिव जवाब ही मिला होगा, उन्होंने देखा होगा कि आज की तारीख पे कोई ऐसी जगह नहीं है, कोई ऐसे गैप्स नहीं जहाँ से वो भेज सकें। लेकिन ये ज़रूर है, आज जो हमारी डीजीएमओ स्टॉक हुई है, उस स्टॉक में इसके बारे में ज़िक्र किया गया है और उनको बताया गया है कि ये हमें मंजूर नहीं है और कृपया करके इस पे लगाम लगाइए। ये उनको ये बता दिया गया है। आपने दूसरा सवाल पूछा है जो एक सब्जेक्ट इन इटसेल्फ है कि नैरेटिव मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम। नैरेटिव मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम और कॉग्निटिव ये कितनी ज़रूरत है और समय की मांग है। सबसे पहले तो मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा ऑपरेशन सिंदूर जो है, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर से हमने बहुत लेसन सीखे लेकिन हम उसके पहले भी बहुत तैयारी कर चुके थे। उदाहरण के तौर पे हमने ये सीखा कि जो भी आप खबर देते हैं उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी होनी चाहिए क्योंकि लंबे समय में आपकी क्रेडिबिलिटी होना बहुत ज़रूरी है। आप जो भी खबर देते हैं उसमें कंसिस्टेंसी होनी चाहिए। तीसरी चीज़ ये होनी चाहिए कि किसी भी नैरेटिव मैनेजमेंट डोमेन में या कॉग्निटिव डोमेन में वैक्यूम नहीं होना चाहिए। अगर वैक्यूम नहीं होगा तो अगर वैक्यूम होगा सॉरी तो नेगेटिव न्यूज़ बहुत फास्ट मूव करती है। चौथी चीज़ क्या है कि आप नेगेटिव न्यूज़ को कितना तूल देते हैं। आपने ये देखना है कि कितनी नेगेटिव न्यूज़ नहीं आई थी। उदाहरण के तौर पे मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि जब से 22 अप्रैल के बाद से जितने भी हमारे ट्विटर हैंडल थे इंडियन आर्मी के, वो सारे ट्विटर हैंडल जो वेस्टर्न फ्रंट को फेस कर रहे थे, वो बंद कर दिए गए थे। ताकि कोई ऐसा ना करे कि वेस्टर्न कमांड ने ये बोला है और जब तक हम वेस्टर्न कमांड से चेक करें, तब तक वो न्यूज़ सब जगह जा चुकी है। तो जो सिंगल सोर्स ऑफ ट्रुथ था, वो सिंगल सोर्स ऑफ ट्रुथ हमने सिर्फ एडीजी स्ट्रैटकॉम रखा था। इसीलिए आप देखेंगे कि हम लोगों की क्रेडिबिलिटी बहुत हाई थी। दूसरी चीज़ ये है हमने इन्फो ऑप्स ग्रुप्स और इन्फो ऑप्स डेस्क बनाए हुए हैं जो कोर हेडक्वार्टर तक पहुंच चुके हैं और ये जो है कार्रवाई करते हैं इस प्रकार की कि जहां भी कोई इंफॉर्मेशन है वो सही जगह से सही वक्त पर पहुंचे। सबसे बड़ी बात आती है साइकोलॉजिकल डिफेंस की। साइकोलॉजिकल डिफेंस क्यों? मेरे पास आज की तारीख पे वेटरन्स को मिला के उनके डिपेंडेंट्स को मिला के 1.3 करोड़ पॉपुलेशन है, यानी 1% पॉपुलेशन तो मेरे पास जिसको मुझे डायरेक्टली रीच करना है। अगर इस पॉपुलेशन को रीच करना है तो मुझे ज़रूरी है टू हैव अ साइकोलॉजिकल डिफेंस डिवीजन और इस चीज़ को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हमने ट्रायल बेसिस पे एक साइकोलॉजिकल डिफेंस डिवीजन बनाई जो कि 24/7 इसको मॉनिटर करती रहती है। क्यों? क्योंकि किसी भी देश में आप ये ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ पाकिस्तान से उभर के चीज़ें आ रही हैं। हो सकता है टर्की से उभर के आएँ, हो सकता है और किसी और देश से भी उभर के आएँ। तो चूँकि उनकी टाइमिंग्स अलग है इसलिए 24 घंटे इसको नज़र रखनी पड़ती है और उसपे हम कार्रवाई करते हैं। इसमें चूँकि होल ऑफ नेशन अप्रोच होता है तो जैसे आपको पता है कि एक सेंट्रल सेल बनाया गया था जिसमें हर मिनिस्ट्री के लोग बैठे हुए थे और फेक न्यूज़ को वो काउंटर कर रहे थे और करेक्ट न्यूज़ देने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। उसके अलावा अब सिंदूर के टाइम पर हमने डीआईबी के साथ और मैती के साथ मिलके बहुत सारे यूआरएल्स, यूट्यूब चैनल्स और ट्विटर हैंडल्स को ब्लॉक किया था क्योंकि वो उस टाइम हमारी नेशनल नेसेसिटी थी। और ऑफ कोर्स फेक न्यूज़ के ऊपर फेक स्टैंपिंग तो हम खुद ही उसी वक्त लगाते थे जैसे हमको पता लगता है। तो मैं आपको यही कहना चाहूँगा हमारी तैयारी बहुत थी और अगर आप उस ट्वीट को देखें जिसको हम बोलते हैं जस्टिस सर्व्ड ऑपरेशन सिंदूर, आज की तारीख पे वो 23 मिलियन हिट्स ले चुका है। थैंक यू।
All right.
ओ सॉरी। हम लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल की बात करें तो लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल में जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि आज की डेट पे इट नीड्स कांस्टेंट विजिल। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हम धीरे धीरे दोनों साइड्स अपना ट्रेस फैक्टर बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। 21 अक्टूबर 24 को आपको पता है कि किस तरह का एक हम लोगों के बीच में अंडरस्टैंडिंग हुई थी। उसके पहले कजान में दोनों टॉप लीडर्स मिले थे, उसके बाद आई थिंक तियानजिन में मिले थे और दोनों के बीच में इस टाइम के बीच में हमारी एसआर लेवल की मीटिंग्स हो चुकी हैं, उसी प्रकार से हमारी डब्ल्यूएमसीसी मीटिंग्स हो चुकी हैं और इन सब उसके अलावा हमारे रक्षा मंत्री जी 2 बार मिल चुके हैं, उनके रक्षा मंत्री जी से, उनके फॉरेन मिनिस्टर से। So since you spoke in English, I'll answer in English hereafter. So as a result, now what is happening that there is a kind of a sense of urgency and sense of acceptance from both the sides to keep the borders as calm, as quiet as possible. And how to go about it? How to go about it? Firstly, to keep the communication open. So now what we have done that we have various levels of talking echelons. They speak to each other and make sure the minor issues are resolved at that place and not made into a major issue. So we have a station level meet, we have a CO level meet, and so on up till the core commander. And wherever such meetings were not taking place, we have proposed in the Eastern Command also to have such meetings. The aim is to resolve the issue as early as possible, fast as possible, as amicable to both sides as possible. And this has actually drawn the results. And lot many places, small misunderstanding could lead to problems. We have sat down together and solved the issue. This is how we are going about it. As far as the issues of the force reduction and force deployment is concerned, I would like to just say that it is a matter of time, space, and resources. So, what we look at, the forces should be placed in such a manner that they should be able to reach a particular deployment within the stipulated time and within the stipulated numbers. So, that is something which we are looking at for the time being. Now, to handle this situation, two groups have been formed. One is the expert group, and which is second is the working group. As far the expert group is concerned, you are aware looking at the boundary delimitation, and as far the working group is concerned, is looking at the boundary management. So once these groups give us some additional guidelines, based on that, on ground developments will take place as of today.
All right. Next ones are 50, 170, and 21. I'll come to the right of this aisle now. ये इधर दीजिए.
Can I start?
Yeah,
Can I start?
you can start.
Hi. 21. Hi. General Dwivedi, Ajay Banerjee, this side to your right, sir. Hi. Sir, I speak two clarifications. One, you said the restructuring, you are creating some new organizations also. Sir, could you please specify what are the organizations? Second clarification, sir, you gave a detailed reply on China. Sir, are we or have we reduced the number of troops since October 2024?
Snehesh.
So Snehesh Philip here from the print. So during Op Sindoor, we saw some of our systems being diverted from the eastern sector to the western sector. And post Op Sindoor, we've also gone in for procurement of specialized ammunition, but in limited numbers. You know, this is the ammunition that the numbers are what Russia and Ukraine would fire in about 4 hours of their fighting. Are we focusing too much on piecemeal procurements, leaving the larger procurements at stake? So, for example, when it comes to the towed gun system, the TGS that has been spoken about, or the light tanks, or for that even like a WAP, are we not looking at procurements, fast tracking procurements of larger systems in larger numbers other than this piecemeal? Thank you, sir.
Madhurendra. उधर दीजिए.
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से. सर करंट वॉरफेयर को देखें या ऑपरेशन सिंदूर को देखें, एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम की जिस तरह की ज़रूरत महसूस हुई और इस क्षेत्र में जो भारतीय सेना इस वक्त काम कर रही है, उसका डिटेल में जानना चाहूँगा कि किस तरह से हम एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम्स को और ज़्यादा मजबूती दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि आपने खुद एग्जांपल दिया कि हम 4 दिन के वॉर में भी जा सकते हैं और 4 साल के रसिया यूक्रेन वॉर की तरफ भी जा सकते हैं. इस वक्त हम देख रहे हैं कि यूक्रेन को किस तरह से एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम की ज़रूरत महसूस हो रही है जब रूस लगातार हमले कर रहा है. तो भारत इस क्षेत्र में किस तरह से तैयारी कर रहा है. मेरा दूसरा सवाल सर बांग्लादेश को लेकर है.
Can I request you to all of you to limit it to
बस
one
छोटा
question,
सवाल
please?
सर, क्योंकि
Okay,
बांग्लादेश
this
को
is the
लेकर
last one, please. Yeah.
बांग्लादेश को लेकर कोई अभी तक सवाल नहीं हुआ. टू फ्रंट वॉर की स्थिति के लिए हम हमेशा तैयार रहते हैं, लेकिन आज की तारीख में हम देखें तो बांग्लादेश भी एक ऐसा हॉट स्पॉट बन गया है जहां पर हम देखें तो पाकिस्तान के साथ जो उनके समीकरण है वो भारत के लिए अगले खतरे के तौर पर दिखाई दे रहे हैं, चाहे आतंकवाद का खतरा हो या बॉर्डर के डिस्प्यूट का खतरा हो या फिर बॉर्डर के क्रॉस टेररिज्म का खतरा हो. तो उसको लेकर भारतीय सेना किस तरह से देख रही है.
So Ajay ji asked about the new organizations. So as for the new organizations are concerned, like I have told you that we are looking at the Bhairav battalions in total 25. We are looking at Shaktiman in terms of 13 to begin with, 15 to begin with, and thereafter add 11 more. We are looking at Divyastra, which will be 34 Divyastra batteries. We are looking at looking at 7 more. Probably in phase 2, we will be commissioning 4. Besides this, the armored and mech are also having similar kinds of organizations. As we kind of carry out the validation, we'll be kind of having that approved and moving ahead. As far the integrated battle group is concerned, last year I had told you that it's on the table and now it has been approved. This will be, of course, having the each IBG will be able to take on approximately 16 plus minus units under its control, and it will be commanded by a major general. It will also have a fire support group, which will also be commanded by a major general. And once we settle down with this IBG, based on that, in future, we will also be looking at more modifications coming in our way. I also would like to tell you that we have created a futures and transformation cell in Indian Army under a 2-star. This has been created to handle all these new structures which is coming out, which is directly under the Chief of Army Staff Strat, so that the decision making is fastest. In later on situation also, we'll be looking at, should we look at RTRAC, that the training command also to become a futures command. We're already having the series of presentations, and this may also become a futures command in itself. This is for the time being, which we have carried out the major changes. And of course, EW brigades and other issues, aviation brigades have already given out during the preamble. The second issue which I've asked is basically the troops relocation. The way I have explained that the deployment is a factor of TSR, that is the time, space, and resources. So we always work on that factor. Based on that, some readjustments have been carried out. And this readjustment have been carried out to make sure that we should be able to timely apply the forces as per the operational requirement. Moving on to the next level. This is you had asked for the special ammunition, and also you had asked for some
which are slowed down.
Okay. Yeah. So what we have to understand that our wish list is very, very high. But even if the wish list is high, is the market ready to supply to you? As of now, since the wish list is new and it's in an accelerated form, the answer is a big no. Therefore, we have to depend on the global. But global is not the answer. Therefore, what we look at, that long-term acquisition will only be carried out based on the Atmanirbharta call. That is why you are finding that the EP which has been carried out is, we have to firstly identify which is the Indian equipment which is suiting us. So the Indian manufacturers are providing us some equipment. As far as the Indian content is concerned, we'll have to see the Indian content is as per our satisfaction and its utility in our the divergent terrains on the northern front, on the western front, it's meeting that requirement. So in the emergency procurement, we are taking a limited number. And based on that, we will go for a larger number, because then the trial also which is required will also be limited, because it's already being used by us. That is the reason. So therefore, when we say that the emergency procurement has been given, it has been given to fast track the procedure and fast track the acquisition. That is what we are looking at. The second thing is what we have to understand, that as far as the routine acquisition is concerned, it takes long time. If you remember, the authorized cycle is approximately 3.5 years, but it takes 5 to 6 years also. So what we want now, we have to look into 3 ways: emergency procurement, fast track procedure, and the modified DAP which will come through, we will include that also. So these are the 3 ways we are looking at as far as the acquisition is concerned. Now coming on to 170, you had asked 2 questions, Bangladesh and air defense. So as far as Bangladesh is concerned, what we need to understand, that anything which is happening under the guidance. You asked in Hindi or English firstly? हिंदी में. तो जो आपने पूछा था, सबसे पहले हमें ये जानना जरूरी है कि ये कौन सी सरकार है जो वहां पर है. अगर वो इंटरिम सरकार है, तो क्या जो वो एक्शंस ले रहा है, क्या वो 4 या 5 साल के लिए है या 4 या 5 महीने के लिए है. तो उस चीज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए क्या हमें उसमें तुरंत रिएक्ट करने की जरूरत है या नहीं, ये हमें समझना चाहिए. सबसे बड़ी बात तो ये है. दूसरी बात ये है कि आज की तारीख पे तीनों सेनाओं ने अपने अपने चैनल्स पूरे खुले रखे हैं. भारतीय सेना ने तो मल्टीपल चैनल्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन खुले रखे हुए हैं, जो उनके वहाँ पे चीफ हैं, उनके से मेरी रेगुलर बात होती रहती है। उसी प्रकार से हमारे बाकी चैनल से भी हमें एक दूसरे से बातचीत होती रहती है। आपको ये भी याद होगा कि हमने एक डेलीगेशन भी वहाँ भेजा था, जिसने वहाँ पे सबसे जाके मुलाकात की थी। उसी प्रकार से चीफ ऑफ नेवल स्टाफ ने बात की है, उसी प्रकार से चीफ ऑफ एयर स्टाफ ने बात की है। इरादा ये है कि किसी प्रकार का कोई मिसकम्युनिकेशन या मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग ना हो। तो मैं आपको यही भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूँ कि आज की तारीख पे जो भी वो कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं, तीनों सेनाओं जो कार्रवाई कर रही हैं, वो किसी भारत के किसी प्रकार के खिलाफ की कार्रवाई नहीं है। जहाँ तक कैपेबिलिटी डेवलपमेंट की आप बात करें, तो कैपेबिलिटी डेवलपमेंट एक चीज़ है जो चलती रहती है पूरे भारत भी कर रहा है, बाकी देश भी कर रहे हैं, तो वो सबके ऊपर लागू है, वो अपनी कैपेबिलिटी डेवलपमेंट कर सकते हैं। जहाँ तक हमारी तैयारी है, हम उसको क्लोजली मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं। हमारा जो कोर ग्रुप होता है, इसके बारे में बातचीत करता रहता है और ये देखता रहता है कि कोई ऐसा कोई मिसकम्युनिकेशन ना हो, जिससे कि बात आगे बढ़ जाए। और जहाँ हमें एश्योरेंस चाहिए, हम उनसे लगातार बात करते रहते हैं। हमारी आपस में ट्रेनिंग के भी एक्सचेंज हो रहे हैं, हमारे भी ऑफिसर्स वहाँ एनडीसी के लिए जा रहे हैं, उनके भी ऑफिसर्स यहाँ पे आ रहे हैं। तो उस मिलिट्री रिलेशनशिप में किसी भी प्रकार की कमी पेशी नहीं आई। आपने अगला सवाल पूछा था आर्मी एयर डिफेंस के ऊपर। तो आर्मी एयर डिफेंस के ऊपर हमने सबसे बड़ी चीज़ ये देखी कि आर्मी एयर डिफेंस जो है, हर हर लेवल पर है। यानी कि स्पेस से शुरू होता है, वो नीचे हमारा कहना चाहिए 30 से 150 मीटर तक जाता है, क्योंकि आपने देखा जो उनके एफपीवी ड्रोन्स आते हैं, जो आते हैं, वो आपके इसी रेंज पे आएँगे, हाइट पे आएँगे। तो इसका मतलब ये है कि जो कुछ लेयर शुरू में हमने छोड़ दी थी, जैसे कि पहले हम Zu-23, L-70, इन सबको हम समझते थे ऑब्सोलीट इक्विपमेंट हो गए हैं। हमने इनको अपग्रेड किया था क्योंकि हमारी ज़रूरत थी। आज की तारीख पे उनकी अहमियत बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है और उनको हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में अपग्रेड कर रहे हैं। उसी प्रकार से जो हमारे रडार्स थे, जो रडार्स बड़ी चीज़ें देख सकते थे, छोटी चीज़ें नहीं देख सकते थे, उनकी अहमियत तो है, लेकिन जो छोटे क्रॉस सेक्शन के रडार्स देख सकते हैं, जो ड्रोन देख सकते हैं, उनकी अहमियत बढ़ गई है। इसीलिए जो लास्ट हमारा फास्ट ट्रैक प्रोसीजर था, इसमें हमने ट्रिपल एलआर काफ़ी खरीदे हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि आज की तारीख पे छोटे जो ड्रोन्स हैं, वो उन्हीं की नज़र में आते हैं। तो हमें आज की तारीख में काबिलियत चाहिए जो छोटे ड्रोन्स देख सके। तो ये जो हमारी एयर डिफेंस यहाँ से शुरू होती है। उसके अलावा आपको पता है कि क्यू और सैम जो मॉडिफाइड है, आकाश प्राइम आपको पता है जिस पे हम कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं, उसी प्रकार से एलआर सैम भी कार्रवाई हो रही है। और ये सारे जो हैं, ये सुदर्शन चक्र जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी अनाउंस किया था, ये उसके तहत शामिल हो जाएंगे। और इस चीज को हमारी डीआरडीओ देख रही है, जिसमें कि सोर्ड एंड शील्ड का कॉन्सेप्ट है। यानी देखो, उसको एंगेज करो और डिस्ट्रॉय करो, तीनों चीज उसमें शामिल होंगी। और इसमें हमने एक हमारे ब्रिगेडियर भी वहाँ पे डीआरडीओ में पोस्ट कर दिए गए हैं, जो इस चीज में पूरी प्लानिंग स्टेज से शामिल हैं, ताकि सुदर्शन चक्र जो हमारा कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा, वो हर जगह पर उसमें आर्मी, एयरफोर्स और समन्वय रहे नेवी के साथ भी।
All right, 79, 11 and 12.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Shivani Sharma from India Today.
Where are you?
Sir,
Yes,
this side.
she's yes.
Okay, Shiva.
Sir, we had seen that after Pahalgam attack and prior to Operation Sindoor, there were a number of ceasefire violations along the line of control. After Operation Sindoor, is there a change in the pattern of ceasefire violations and terror launch pads across the line of control? And your insight on the recalibration of forces south of Peer Panjal?
So this is Manu Pabi from the Economic Times in the middle, sir. So can you tell us a bit more about your budget priorities? Budget is upcoming. There's a lot of changes which the army has gone through. And what kind of money are you seeking more? And what will the spending priorities be in the coming years?
So Rahul Singh this side from Hindustan Times. So you talked about the gradual normalization of the situation along the northern borders, but and efforts being made by both sides to kind of keep things calm. And in this context, when China has reiterated again that Shaksgam Valley is a part of their territory, how do you see these comments in with respect to the situation along the northern borders? Thanks.
Okay. So Shivani ji, you have asked basically about the ceasefire violations. So let me tell you that in 2025 there were 139 ceasefire violations which took place, but majority of them were basically during the 124, if I can say that specific, were during the Op Sindhu. And the balance one which are there were minor ones. What happens when a new unit comes? By the time, at times, uh, if you have served in, of course, you wouldn't have served in LC, but what I'm saying is, in line of control, when the tree also moves, it looks like that people are coming to attack you. So when the new unit, especially in case of Pakistan, the new unit moves, they are generally at times scared and they carry out a prophylactic firing. In our terms, prophylactic firing will also be looked at as ceasefire violation. So that is the kind of ceasefire violation has taken place. Otherwise, no major ceasefire violation has taken place. The second issue, what you've asked, is recalibration of forces south of Pir Punjab. So as far as forces are concerned, as of today, we are not relenting at all. No forces are coming back because, in my wisdom, today 140 approximately still the terrorists within the hinterland are likely to be there, out of which only 10 could be the local terrorists, rest all could be the Pakistani terrorists. If that be the case, I cannot sit at rest. Therefore, we are not relenting at all. And the forces which were placed there, in addition, those forces are still there, and we will not back down as of today. Manu Papiji asked the question about the budget. So I would like to just tell you that this time we are hoping for some increase in the budget. Because if Atmanirbharta is the clarion call, then the Indian industry also has to be reassured. That is point number one. The second issue is the budget last year. If you see that capital acquisition, we were given a particular number, but finally we landed up signing somewhere 80,000 crores. And this was LCH itself was approximately 40,000 crore. What it means that as the government is concerned, government has said that if you wish to spend money and you got a scope, don't worry on that. We will get you the money from somewhere. For example, this time also 33,000 has been given out. We may have signed approximately 20 approximately, but we are looking at finally reaching 50. And government is assured, don't worry. As far as we are concerned, we should be able to give it to you. That is the assurance which has been given. Your question is, what are the priorities, what we are looking at? So the priorities, if I have to look at, firstly, I have divided battlefield awareness because what I said, force visualization, force application, and force preservation. These are the three pillars I'll always look at. So battlefield awareness will give me the force visual preserve. Command and control. So somebody rightly asked, as far as the artificial intelligence is concerned, it's firstly the OODA cycle which is there. It gets enhanced and much faster because of this command and control. So we are paying a major attention to that. Force application, I've already told you, and preservation and protection. Because now the non-state actors also have today access to a lot of technology which can be used for attack. Therefore, the domain of protection and preservation, which was only, let's say, for the military, now we also look at the civil side. We saw in Punch that how they targeted our Gurdwara and other places. Therefore, I need to protect and preserve that also. Therefore, I need to spend money towards that side also. And of course, sustenance and support, which is an ongoing factor. It's more applicable to the army because it's a large army and our revenue expenditure, even for sustaining in terms of ammunition, arms, and the equipment, including kitting, comes from the revenue. Therefore, it will always remain very high for us. So this is as far as your question is concerned. Then Rahulji, you asked about the Northern Front and about the Shaksgam Valley. So as the Shaksgam Valley is concerned, India considers 1963 agreement between Pakistan and China as illegal. Therefore, any activity in Shaksgam Valley is concerned, we do not approve of it. And in this terms, MEA has already issued the statement. Therefore, the joint statement which has been issued in China, what I understand about the CPEC 2.0, we do not accept it and we consider that it is an illegal action which is being carried out by the two nations.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the probably the last set of questions. So we'll have 63, 68, and 80.
सर मेरा नाम अनुवेश रथ है, मैं जी मीडिया ग्रुप से हूँ। सर मेरा सवाल ये है कि पिछले साल हमने देखा आपने काफ़ी अच्छे ऑपरेशंस किए, उसी के साथ-साथ काफ़ी चीज़ें डीएसी और बाकी एओएन वगैरह आए। लेकिन जिस तरीके से हमने देखा है कि कई सारे प्रोक्योरमेंट्स जो होते हैं वो काफ़ी डिले होते हैं। वहीं पे जिस तरीके से ग्लोबल हालात चल रहे हैं, आपको कई सारे जल्दी प्रोक्योरमेंट लेने पड़ेंगे। किस तरीके की बैलेंसिंग आप इसमें करेंगे? क्योंकि इस बार बजट में आपको मतलब तीनों सेनाओं को लगभग 80,000 करोड़ एक्स्ट्रा कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर के लिए दिया जा रहा है, कैपिटल एक्विजिशन के लिए दिया जा रहा है।
Srinjoy.
Mic.
Srinjoy, your mic is not working. Please give him another mic.
This was in Hindi or English?
Hindi.
English.
Anuj.
Hindi.
Yes, sir.
So, there's been a lot of talk about the striker. Is the army interested in the striker? And also, sir, in the last DSE, there was this huge consignment of tanks that were going to be overhauled, very, very large number. Now, as far as the previous case was concerned with the earlier batch, there seemed to be some unhappiness about it in terms of quality, in terms of time. So could you just tell us where it stands? And also this rocket force that you spoke of.
Srinjoy, I'll request, we are at the fag end now. Otherwise, others will not get a chance to ask a question.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
सर मैं हरेन चौधरी रक्षा समाचार से सर सर मेरा सवाल है कि आर्टिलरी को लेकर के रेंज बढ़ाने की बात हो रही है और आईआईटी मद्रास ने रिसेंटली अभी कहा है कि हम रेंज बढ़ाने वाले हैं। तो भारतीय सेना कब दुनिया की पहली सेना बनेगी जो एक्सटेंडेड रेंज आर्टिलरी जो रैमजेट इंजन के साथ होगी वो जो है इंडक्ट करेगी, कब तक ये होगा? और दूसरा सवाल मेरा जोरावर टैंक को लेकर के है सर, उसका भी क्या स्थिति है और कब से उसके यूजर ट्रायल शुरू होंगे और कब भारतीय सेना में शामिल होगा? थैंक यू।
ओके, तो पहले मैं रक्षा समाचार का सवाल लेता हूँ। जहाँ तक आरटी रेंज का सवाल है, आरटी रेंज जैसे आपने बताया कि आप सिर्फ आरटी गन की बात कर रहे हैं और चूंकि आरटी गन की बात कर रहे हैं तो इसमें जहाँ तक मैं खुद वहाँ पे आईआईटी मद्रास गया था, मैंने उनकी वहाँ पे प्रोग्रेस देखी, तो मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि वो काफ़ी एनकरेजिंग प्रोग्रेस है। और अभी टाइमलाइन तो उसमें हम फिट नहीं कर सकते हैं क्योंकि टाइमलाइन बताना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, बट ये है कि काफ़ी प्रोग्रेसिव फीडबैक आया है और रैमजेट टेक्नोलॉजी जैसे ही आएगी हमें लॉन्गर रेंजेस मिलनी शुरू हो जाएंगी। और इस रैमजेट तक हमारे पिनाका जो हैं, तो पिनाका रॉकेट में भी अगर हम इसको लगा सकते हैं तो हमें इससे ज़्यादा रेंज मिलने का फायदा होगा। और ये रैमजेट टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसी है कि आगे भी इस्तेमाल होती रहेगी। उसी प्रकार से डीआरडीओ भी इस टेक्नोलॉजी पे काफ़ी काम कर रहा है। तो मेरा तो सोच विचार ये है कि 2026 के सेकेंड हाफ में हमें इसमें काफ़ी सफलता हासिल हो जानी चाहिए। दूसरा आपका सवाल था जोरावर टैंक के बारे में। तो जोरावर टैंक अभी तक सिर्फ एक बनाया गया है जो कि हाई एल्टीट्यूड में अभी डिप्लॉयड है। उसमें कुछ कमी पेशी आई थी क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा किया गया है और हाई एल्टीट्यूड में चूंकि और भी नए फैक्टर्स आते हैं और इन सारी चीज़ों को फिर आपने रिपेयर करने के लिए नीचे लाना पड़ता है। तो चूंकि अभी वो नीचे नहीं आ सकता है तो एक दूसरा हजीरा में एक टैंक प्रोटोटाइप तैयार किया गया है जो कि अभी हम वेस्टर्न बॉर्डर्स में उसको ट्रायल्स के लिए भेज रहे हैं। तो कहने का ये मतलब है कि ये इसके काफ़ी हद तक इसका प्रोटोटाइप बन चुका है, बट जो छोटे मोटे जो इसके मेजर असेंबलीज हैं उसमें जो खामियां आती हैं उसको दूर करने में भी वक्त लगेगा, इसलिए इसमें टाइमलाइन फिक्स नहीं की जा सकती। लेकिन मैं ये देख रहा हूं कि 2029 के आसपास अगर इंडक्शन शुरू हो जाएगा तो उसका काफी फायदा होगा। Then moving on to Srinjay, you asked about the striker and the tank overhaul. So the striker is concerned, it is one of the options we are looking at because we need a platform. We should be able to utilize it very well in the northern front. And it should have all the capabilities in terms of protection, in terms of firepower, in terms of mobility. So if there's an Indian option to it, we will prefer to go for Indian option. If not, then definitely we are looking at other options also. Striker is also one of those. Coming on to the second factor, what you asked for is about the tank overhauling. So what we understand that because of the force majeure factors, some spares which were required to be provided to the AVNL from the OEM could not come in time or got delayed. As a result, the overall has got some slippages. Secondly, AVL did not have that much of capacity which we were supposed to be having. So this time what we have done, we have also taken the help of 505, the army-based workshop which is there. And this workshop is also carrying out parallel repairs or the overalls at this place also. So what we are looking at the PSU, we are looking at army-based workshop, and if there's an industry which is ready to come forward and help us out, we'll be surely ready to reach out to them and give them the contract also. But I can just assure you it does not affect in any way our operation efficiency, because we take this corrective action at the right point of time. It does not mean that the equipment is not usable in that particular time. As far as the quality is concerned, I do not have any reports of any quality. Some infirmities can always be there, which is something the corrections will take place, which is acceptable to us. Time slippages are there. Yes, I agree with you. And we are taking corrective actions towards that side. Moving ahead, I think all three is answered.
All three have been answered.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, we are nearing the end. Probably we have got 3 more minutes. We'll take probably one question or two. Okay, one set. We can have 96, 88 and 165. Okay, we'll come to that, man.
96, where is 96?
96. Yes,
Yes.
please ask.
सर कृष्णमोहन शर्मा भारत एक्सप्रेस से। सिंदूर से ज्यादा ऑपरेशन सिंदूर पूरे देश में फेमस हो गया और हर बच्चा ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की बात करता है। मैं सिर्फ एक चीज जानना चाहता हूं कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर की सफलता में टर्निंग पॉइंट क्या था हमारे
Okay.
Okay, 88. Yeah, ऊपर दीजिए।
सर शिखा ठाकुर फ्रॉम भारत 24। सर हमने देखा है कि नैरेटिव्स की लड़ाई हो रही है और एक तरफ बॉर्डर पे वॉर चल रहा है, दूसरी तरफ हेडलाइंस और हैशटैग्स में। अभी अभी एशियन रिपोर्ट्स ने एक न्यूज़ पब्लिश की है जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि चाइनीज एयरक्राफ्ट J-10 उसको ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के खिलाफ सक्सेसफुली एम्प्लॉय किया गया। इस तरीके के जो नैरेटिव्स है सर जो सोशल प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर है उसको कैसे हम केटर कर सकते हैं?
Okay, last one, 165.
So Bipindra here, sir. I'm an independent journalist. So you talked a lot about the northern front, sir. There is one thing that I wanted to ask you about the northern front, which is in October 2024 when the agreement was signed for disengagement. There were also 2 more steps that were to be done, which is disengagement and de-induction. 3-step process was to be maintained. At what process? Currently this LAC disengagement exists at this point in time. So we are seeing that the conflict is drone driven. Basically, the drones are sort of shaping the battlefield. Effects that happen, and air littoral is becoming a very important space, and control of air littoral is also a big question mark as far as the Indian force structures are concerned. So would you throw some light on what is the thinking of the army on the air littoral control and command and control structures?
So 88 भारत 24। आपने पूछा था कि ये जो बहुत सारी खबरें आ रही हैं सोशल मीडिया में, इसको आप काउंटर कैसे करते हैं। सो जहाँ तक ये सवाल है, सबसे बड़ी चीज़ ये है कि बहुत सारी चीज़ों पे अगर आप ना भी रिएक्ट करें तो भी चल जाएगा, क्योंकि वो सोशल मीडिया पे ही रह जाएंगी। तो क्या होता है, प्रोफेशनल्स जो हैं इस चीज़ पे बहुत ज़्यादा ध्यान देते नहीं हैं। लेकिन अगर किसी चीज़ में सच्चाई है, अगर उसमें कुछ सच है, तो उसको हम फिर डिटेल में इन्वेस्टिगेट करेंगे, आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, उसके काउंटर एक्शंस लेंगे। बट आज की तारीख पे ये जो साइकोलॉजिकल चलता है, ये इसको हम बोलते हैं सोशल मीडिया वॉरियर्स। इन वॉरियर्स के बीच में ही जो बिना तलवार के लड़ते हैं, वो बिना तलवार की लड़ाई वहीं पे सीमित रहे तो अच्छा है। काउंटर के लिए जो कार्रवाई थी उसके बारे में मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया, बहुत कुछ कार्रवाई हम कर रहे हैं और आगे आने वाले दिनों में करेंगे ही। जहां भी आपको डाउट होता है, आप हमारे सोशल मीडिया हैंडल पे या ADG स्ट्रैटकॉम को ट्वीट करके भेजिए, वो जरूर उसका जवाब देंगे और आपको सही चीज बताएंगे। रही बात हमारे अक्टूबर 24 का, आपने पूछा डिसएंगेजमेंट और डीएस्केलेशन के बारे में आपको क्या कहना है। तो जहाँ तक डिसएंगेजमेंट का सवाल है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि जो 21 अक्टूबर को जो हमने आपस में एग्रीमेंट किया था, उसके तहत जो भी कार्रवाई करनी थी वो हमने कंप्लीट कर ली है। अभी बात आती है कि इसको आगे कैसे बढ़ाया जाए। तो इसको आगे बढ़ाने के लिए जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि WMCC है, आपने इंग्लिश में पूछा था? Okay. So as we already know that the WMCC is there, we have the specialist representative group which is their special representative, and of course the channels which are open in terms of various ministries. So as a result, what has happened, these expert groups and the working groups have been made. Now we are waiting for the outcome of this expert group and working groups. As these expert groups and working group arrive at a particular logical synergistic solution, we will start kind of executing them on ground. So we are just awaiting those kind of instructions. This will take some time, and we are ready to wait. The second question which you had is drone and air littoral. So like I told you that 97% of the airspace as far as the air littoral is concerned is being used by the Indian Army. Therefore, it is mandatory for the Indian Army to look at how to control that. What we have done that we have UCC, and this UCC, this control center which is there, Unified Control Center, we are keeping at the division level. Now, this Unified Control Center, which is the division level, is not only kind of coordinating the drones which military is using it, that is the Army, Navy, Air Force. It is also looking at which is being used by the CAPF. Is it also looking at the drones which is being used by the drone Didis? It is also looking the drones which is being flown for the agriculture purposes, and also for reconnaissance, or even for the medical, or even let's say Amazon and others which are flying the drones. So during the conventional operations or during the heightened gray zone, this UCC will come into play. But this UCC is not independent. That is working out with the core headquarter, and core headquarter JATC is integrated with the Air Force ISCCS through Akashti. So everything is integrated, and that's why UCC is working based on a format called as Saksham. And as we go higher, there are already various AI tools which are there. So all these are at a nascent stage for the time being. As they mature, we will see which is the software which is best suited for us, which has got more integrity in terms of being produced in-house, which is scalable. So based on this, those softwares will be utilized, and artificial intelligence from generative will become agentic at later stage.
With this, we come to the end of the question and answer
No, there's
session.
a turning point. I think who was this turning point? Yeah. आपने पूछा कि ऑप सिंदूर में टर्निंग पॉइंट क्या था? मेरे हिसाब से टर्निंग पॉइंट जो था, दो स्टेज पे देखना चाहिए आपको। सबसे पहले टर्निंग पॉइंट तो ये था जो 22 मिनट की हमारी जो हमने टेरर टारगेट्स पे जो स्ट्राइक की थी, उस 22 मिनट से सबसे पहले तो क्या हुआ था कि जो उनका डिसीजन मेकिंग साइकिल था अपोजिट साइड का, वो बिल्कुल हिल गया था, एंड उन्हें वक्त लगा समझने में। एंड चूंकि वक्त लगा तो जिसके हाथ में जो आया, किसने पत्थर फेंकना शुरू कर दिया, किसी ने ड्रोन, किसी ने मिसाइल, तो अफरा कार्रवाई हो रही है। और ये जो मिसमैनेजमेंट उस तरफ से हुआ था, उसको हमने कैलिब्रेटेड रिस्पांस दिया, ताकि हम लड़ाई को आगे नहीं बढ़ाना चाहते थे, क्योंकि हमारा जो पॉलिटिको मिलिट्री एम था वो हमने पा लिया। दूसरा जो टर्निंग पॉइंट था, जो मैं शायद यहाँ पे खुले में ना बता पाऊं, बट 10 तारीख को सवेरे कुछ ऐसे निर्देश तीनों सेनाओं को दे दिए गए थे कि अगर ये लड़ाई आगे बढ़ती तो इसमें क्या होना था, वो जिसको समझ में आना था उसकी समझ में आ चुका था। तो चूंकि उसके समझ में आ चुका था, इसीलिए फिर जैसे कि 9:30 के आसपास हमारे डीजीएम उस टाइम घई साहब थे, तो यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, और उस चीज को मद्देनजर रखते हुए, उस चीज को समझते हुए, क्यों उनके पास सैटेलाइट से पूरी खबर थी कि कौन सा शिप, कौन सा स्ट्राइक कोर या पिवेट कोर या कौन सा एयरक्राफ्ट कहाँ मूव कर रहा है। इस सारी खबर को जब उन्होंने, जिसको हम बोलते हैं कनेक्टिंग द डॉट्स, जब उन्होंने डॉट्स कनेक्ट किए तो उन्होंने बोला अभी समय आ गया है, इस लड़ाई को यहाँ पे रोकना उचित होगा, उनके लिए फायदेमंद होगा।
Thank you. So we shall finish the question and answer session here, sir. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, for the support and cooperation. Those who have not been able to ask questions, I'm sure many of you would want to ask. The Chief of Army Staff will be there with you post this session as we go down to the reception area for lunch. Please join us for lunch there. You can speak to the Chief there and clear your questions there.
Can I overrule you?
Yes, sir.
Can I overrule you?
Yes, sir. The
Okay.
Chief can overrule.
Thank you for overruling. 108 here and 160 here. Women empowerment.
Thank you very much. So the lady gets the last word, also.
All right, ma'am, can you just hold? So we'll start
Oh, you
with
start with the veteran, that's
154. 154. Then the two ladies can have the last word.
Sir, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Umang Kohli. Served under your command also when you were the Northern Army Commander, sir, in the IW. I work for India Strategic. I'm the executive editor. Sir, my question to you is, we are seeing that the rocket forces, Russia has decided to raise a rocket force just like China. And there is a lot of buzz about the rocket force being raised. Do we think that now is the time that we should have a separate rocket force as well? And secondly, sir, we've been having the GDP, it's connected, sir.
Okay,
GDP is 1.9%, defense budget is 1.9% of the GDP. What would be your wish list? What figure would you put if you had to, sir? Thank you so much.
Yes, please, ma'am.
So this is Sangeeta Saxena, editor, Aviation and Defense Universal. Sir, just one question. We had talked so much about transformation and reform. So when will we be able to tell our granddaughters, my granddaughter, that yes, you will be join the army, beta, you will command 1 paras, 9 paras, 7 paras. So when do we get women into the infantry, sir?
Okay, 160. Yes, please. Udhar dijiye. 160.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations on your Army Day. This is Neelam Matthews from Shepherd Media of the UK. Sir, what's the biggest gap in procurement that you would like to fill at the moment? Could it perhaps be space assets? Thank you.
Come again, sorry.
What is the biggest gap in procurement that you would like to fill ASAP? And could it be space assets by any chance? Thank you.
This way we'll not be able to end today, but knowing the chief, this is the last one. I'll request both of you to please hold on.
Okay, I think there are three.
I'll request both of you to, otherwise we'll never end.
So what we'll do, these three, I'll have a lunch with them. Okay?
All right, sir.
Okay.
The three of you
And I'll keep
can
answering
sit
all
with the
questions.
chief for the lunch and ask your questions.
So I'll take on as far as the first question, 160, what you've asked is, Ms. Matthew, the gap which is there, and could it be space assets also? So as far as the gaps are concerned, what is the maximum gap if you're looking at the technology imbibement in whatever equipment we have and networking of all this equipment what we have. That's why if your backbone and architecture is not there, every equipment which is working in isolation. It is not giving me the mass effect. It is massing itself, but not giving the mass effect. Therefore, it is important for me to network everything and introduce artificial intelligence at the earliest by providing the data connectivity and making sure this data is central as well as it has redundancy by virtue of edge data center, which we have Raksha Mantri ji inaugurated in October. So my priority is artificial intelligence and data centricity. And for that, it is something which I'll be able to get from the acquisition, something for the manpower upgradation, and thirdly, the expertise which is lying in the civil domain as of now. Because AI, network centricity, networking and data centricity is a dual use thing. So I must accept what is best in the civil market, take it, absorb it, and introduce it. This is what is the main thing. As far as space is concerned, yes, the gaps are there. And that's why we're looking at the commercial satellites also. And as you are aware, that very, very good private players have come to the fore today and they're offering their services. So once the DAP gets approved, definitely we'll be able to have a long-term strategic partnership with these players to make sure that we should be able to get the space visibility the way we are looking at. And we should be working towards that. What is important is that the technological advancement is so fast that a normal equipment platform production and technological production cannot be considered on the same scale or the same pace. Therefore, we need a different kind of a pipeline for acquisition of this. This we are working in this DAP. The second question is women into 4 para and 10 para. So we have the colonel of the regiment sitting here, and definitely after this he will sit with you for the lunch and decide on the kind of parameters how to go about it. But what we need to see that if the standards are same, if the capability is same, and if the India as a nation, society is ready to accept, it can be done tomorrow. I have said earlier also, Kali Mata ka roop. Women cannot be seen as a vulnerable commodity. It has to be strong enough. So if we look at our society as of today, the society still has got girls' schools, girls' colleges, boys' colleges, and the laws also which are there are of a particular kind. As the army is concerned, army is looking at not gender equality, army is looking at gender neutrality. But today I am not able to ensure gender neutrality because there are medical authorities which do not allow me, and the team of composition where the females also, they say, no sir, presently it's not possible. I'll give you the example of CPT 26, which I was talking about. I was wanting the standards to be same, but I have not been able to make sure because there's been no positive indications from those females who are serving also. So now what I'm doing, I'm having the super excellent column. So in 3 to 4 years, I will get to know how many female officers and the other ranks are able to reach that level. If they're able to reach that level, definitely we will open up firstly the supporting arms which are not open, and then the arms, and then of course the special forces. So it's a social change, it's a sequential change, it is a welcome change, but it is gender neutral. Now the third question was rocket force and GDP. So as far as the rocket force is concerned, you had asked. As far as the rocket force concerned, yes, like I said, it is a requirement. Rather, I'll call it rocket cum missile force because you have to mix of both. Now, what you said, this rocket force is required at the level of what? Is it required to be at the army level, or it's required directly at the level of MOD or at the CDS level? This is the question which you need to decide. I'll give you the example. As of today, for example, let's say we are raising under artillery. Tomorrow, as the requirement increases and we carry out the accretion, if you see how we went about the Army Air Defense, initially it was under artillery, carried out the complete training and development under artillery. After that, when it became unmanageable under the artillery, it went as a different line directive. Similarly, as far as the rocket force is concerned, initially it will be under the let's say artillery. As and when it increases, based on the size, scope, and the command control, this will see a different avatar. So it's too early to say that how these timelines will come up, because the acquisition pattern will tell us how strong this force will be in what time frame. And then we will take a decision on that. All three answered?
Yes, all three. Thank
Yeah,
the
as for the
GDP
GDP
question, the
Okay,
chief has
I'll-
already answered earlier. He's already cleared that how there is no change that we need. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support and cooperation. May I request you to remain seated while the Chief Army Staff and the senior officers leave the hall. Thereafter, may I request you all to join us for lunch at the lower reception hall. Thank you. And
Thank you,
Jai Hind.
everyone. Thank you very much. Good luck. Jai Hind. Looking forward to host you for lunch.